This week on Machinery PTV, a cold, rainy day didn't deter interest in this line of 30 series tractors, especially the 4230, which brought in top dollar. In Tractor Tales, tracking down a lost Minneapolis Moline, and behind the gavel, the origins of showpig.com.
Your machinery is a serious investment and at the heart of every farming operation. Some call it a passion. We're Machinery Pete TV, and today we'll cover everything from auction roundups to the classics to the latest trends and technology. Machinery Pete, the most trusted name in farm equipment.
Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. Hey folks, welcome to Machinery Pete TV, coming at you today from Wilmington, Ohio. I'm cold and soaked, but you're warm and dry, and you're going to have a ball watching this show today, folks. We're going to see 7 John Deere 30 Series tractor sell, a 2030, 2630, 4030, 4230, 4430, 4630, and the 8430. Now before all that fun, let's go back and catch up on the latest farm equipment news.
All right, thanks Pete. I'm Clinton Griffiths. The expectation that trade with China will improve sent the Ag Barometer soaring in January. The barometer from Purdue University and the CME Group rising to a reading of 167. That's a 17-point jump from December. It marks the highest barometer reading since researchers started gathering data back in 2015. Surveyors reporting the rise was a direct result of the sharp increase in optimism about future conditions in agriculture.
That index of future expectations rose from a reading of 155 in December to 179 in January, and again, that's the highest reading we've had on the index of future expectations since we've been collecting data.
Even though there is a Phase 1 trade deal with China, the USDA is continuing to acknowledge the impact the trade war has had on producers. This week, announcing a third round of trade aid will be showing up in farmers' bank accounts by the end of the week. Secretary Sonny Perdue saying it will be the third and final tranche of the 2019 Market Facilitation Program payments. Last year, the president authorized the USDA to provide up to $16 billion to producers following that trade war with China. Many analysts I spoke with at this year's Top Producer Summit in Chicago say these payments are helping keep many farmers in the game.
If we didn't have MFP this year, we would have had a lot of difficulty across the Midwest, in my opinion. And that's true also in other parts of the country. So that MFP payment was really, filled the gap.
Auctions are happening every week. Here's a look at some recent prices from around the country. That's it for news. Now back to Machinery Pete.
Hey folks, you love John Deere 4430s? Then stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss this. It's a 74 model, just over 6,400 hours quad range. No other cornhead works like a Drago, or pays you back like one. Visit your Drago dealer and see how you can justify owning a Drago on ROI alone. Hey folks, I'm here with owner Kenny Bean. And Kenny, your John Deere 30 Series, man, you have quite a collection.
Thank you.
When did you start building the 30 Series collection?
Early 80s. The 4630 was the first tractor that
This was your first one?
This is the first one I'd bought. I mean, I didn't get it new, but I bought it off of a dealer down Hillsboro High. It was the very first one I bought.
You get $12,000, now 5, now $13,000. Showing you about to get 13, now 5. Yellow coat Dale. You get 13, 5, $14,000. Showing you about to get 14, you about to get now 5. You about to get 14, 5. You get $15,000. Showing you about to get 15, you about to get 5. You about to get 15, 5, 16,000. You get $16,000. Showing you about to get 15, you about to get 16,000. You get $16,000. Showing you about to get 15, you about to get 15, 7, 50, 16,000 Dale. You get $16,000 now 2.5. You get about to get 16, 250. You get 16, 2.5. You get 16, 2.5. You get 2, did I hear it? You get down 16, 5. You get 16, you get about to get 5, 16, 5. You get 5 around 7.5. You get 16, 750. You get 16, you get 7, you get 5, you get about to get 16, $750. You able to bid on them. You get 16, 7.5. Everybody else. You get 16, 750 to bid on them and die. Sold 16,500. 214.
Hey folks, I'm here with the buyers of our 1975 John Deere 4630 day 16.5. We got Mike and Lauren from, is it West Liberty, West Virginia?
West Virginia, yes.
And we have help. We have MJ and Reese.
Yep.
You guys are what, 16, 17 years old? No, how? 4 years old? Awesome. Well, congratulations on the tractor.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And I understand it'll fit right in with your collection of John Deeres at home?
Yes, sir. We got a 4430, 4455, a 4030, and a 2030.
Okay.
It's right in there with just a little bit bigger horse.
Perfect. How do you plan to use it back home?
Probably on a little bit of tillage and machinery. Either probably the round baler or the chopper also.
Okay.
In the fall.
And how long a drive was it from West Virginia for you guys down here to the
About
south?
3.5 hours.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it was a nice drive. Never been in this part of the country, so.
A little drive, stand in the rain, and go home with a nice 4630.
That's right.
That's right.
Perfect day.
Great.
Awesome. And what do you guys think? You like this tractor? Who's going to drive it first?
I like that tractor.
Oh, you like that one.
A little too big,
Well,
maybe.
maybe next time.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
All right.
So Kenny, tell me about your John Deere 4430, a little over 6,400 hours on it.
Yep. I bought it from a local dealership right over here, and bought it in a 12-row corn planter at the same time.
A 7,012 row.
Yep, 7,012 row, and been a very good tractor to me. I haven't had any trouble at all.
You get 14, you about to get $14,000. Showing you about to get 10, you about to get 14, 5. You get 14, you get 5, you about to get 5. Now $15,000. You're both out online. I'm at 15, you about to get $15,000. Showing you about to get 15. Now 5, you about to get 5, about to get 15, 5. You get Longdale. You get $15,000. Now 500. You get 15, you get 5, you about to get 5. Now $16,000 on up. I'm at 16, you about to get 16, you get 16, you about to get. Hey, the truck's been 16.5. Hello there, Wesley. You get 16, you about to get 5, about to get 16.5. You get 5, you about to get 5, about to get 5, about to get 5, about to get 16.5. I'm at 16, now 17,000, now 17.5. Got two of them online. You get 17.5, you about to get 5, about to get 17.5. You get 17, you get 5, you about to get 5, now 18,000. I'm at 18, you about to get 18. Online bidders, you're both out. You got to be 18,000. I'm at 18, you about to get 5. You get 5, you about to get 18.5. You're out on the phone, Wesley. I'm at 18,500. You look at 18, you about to get 5, you about to get 5. Dale, how you getting along? I'm at 18.5. You look at 18, you about to get 5, you about to get 5. I'm 18, 2.5. I'll do that. I'm at 18. Have an auction sale. You look at 18, 2.5. Everybody else. You look at 18, look at 18, about to get 18, about to get 18, 250. I'm at 18, 250 on them, and I sold $18,000. Online bidder.
Here are a few more items that sold on today's sale.
You look at 92 and now 3. Everybody else. You look at 93. You about to get 93 to bid on them, and I sold 9,200. 15, 2.5. Everybody else. You want back in online? 15, 2.5. 15, 2.5. He said no. Sold $15,000. Look at 49.55. You look at 5. You about to get $5,000. Sean, you about to get 5. Everybody else. You look at 5 to bid on them, and I sold $49.50. You about to get $4,200. Sean, you about everybody else. You look at $4,200. $4,200 on them, and I sold $4,100. You look at 44. You about to get 44. 45. You look at 45.
He bought it. He bought it.
Now $4,500. Sean,
He bought it.
45 to bid on them, and I sold $4,400.
If it has the name Case IH on it, it was built by farmers. Case IH. Rethink productivity. Your next piece of equipment is on machinerypete.com. Search equipment from dealerships across the country to find what you're looking for. only on MachineryPete.com.
Well, my auctioneer friend Kevin Wendt has built an amazing auction company, the Wendt Group, but I tell you what, he's also built, along with his wife Megan, an amazing business, showpig.com.
So showpig.com is a company that we started in 2000. We had a good friend of ours that actually owned the company at that time, and it's when the website craze had kind of started. And so the main focus of that website was to allow breeders an opportunity to post their animals, have pictures of them, you know, promote auctions. At that time we were doing quite a few live auctions of show pigs, and so it was a way for them to just kind of promote and start to market in the online arena. Quite honestly, I think most people thought, hey, this online thing isn't going to work, you know. So my wife and I decided that we would kind of plunge into that, and we bought it from a friend of ours that was really didn't want to take it any further. Sure. And so we purchased it in 2000, and then kind of made some improvements, ramped up some things, started doing banner ads, e-blasts, just, you know, kind of changed the face of it, and it really took off and then started to grow. So we'll typically do north of about 1,200 auctions a year. And sell 20 to 25,000 head of pigs. When we started, I was doing about 50 to 60 live auctions from the middle of March till the middle of May. And now I'll maybe do 10 or 12 live events, but we'll do, you know, 500 or 600 online events. But it's allowed that smaller producer, you know, venue and exposure. It's also helped us like with travel, you know, I mean, I'm not traveling as much as I was doing individually, but I don't think it would have been as successful had I not already been in that space, you know, as a live auctioneer. They trusted me, they trusted our company, they understood what we were doing, and we just kind of broadened it and made it bigger and better. And then I was fortunate to get, you know, a lot of good people to work for us to help us.
Welcome back to Tractor Tales, folks. This week we've got a great family tractor story for you from Illinois. We're going to learn about a Minneapolis Moline U. Paul Butler searched for his grandfather's tractor several years after it was sold. When he found it, one identifying mark confirmed it was the family tractor.
So this is my grandpa's 1951 U. He sold it when at his auction when he retired farming in 1976. And I started farming in 2003 and wanted to find this tractor. I spent a lot of time looking for it, calling auctioneers all over the country, and one popped up just about 5-6 miles from here, and the serial numbers matched. It had been back of a guy's shed for years. And we weren't sure, just kind of after all the looking, couldn't believe it, and went over to look at it, and we found my grandfather's handwriting. He'd actually written all over it before it was restored, and we preserved a few of the spots. But my dad wasn't too keen on buying. He's like, what do you want that old thing for? It's going to be in the way. You know, we got there and we found Grandpa's handwriting. We had the manuals where it had his notes and everything in it. And Dad's like, you got to buy this tractor. I'm like, I know. So I bought it and had it restored by a guy down at Moline, Illinois. Did a good job. It was a little rough when we first got it. It was running, but not much more. And he did a lot of did all the painting on it and everything and the body work. They were using it to just run an auger. Since Grandpa retired in 76, clear up until 2003, they'd drag it out of the shed, they'd run the auger, and they'd put it back in the shed. So it probably didn't have, you know, a mile on the tires, which are the tires that Grandpa had on it. We had to replace the front ones, but the rear ones are those same tires that I remember as a little kid. Nothing, just parades and hay rides and you know, tractor rides, stuff like that. I'm tempted to put it on auger or something, I don't think so. I think it'll just stay in the shed and stay clean. It'll never leave the farm as long as I'm alive.
Hey folks, I'm standing out here in the cold rain, but you know what? It's totally worth it. Stay tuned, we're going to watch our feature item sell, the Sharp John Deere 4230.
Every good season starts with one great deal. Get yours today with Farm Hard Rewards, going on now at your local certified Firestone Ag tire dealer. Stop in before April 30th and buy 2 or more eligible Firestone Ag radial tires for 1 instant discount. More details at firestoneag.com.
Well, folks, you want to talk about holding your value well? John Deere 4230s. Back in 2004, the average auction price, $10,556. Last year, average auction price, $10,551. What did you use this for on the farm?
I mainly run an auger with it. I had on auger about the whole time, or when I had spreading some lime sludge on the spreader. But
so now, leading up to the sale, Kenny, with the 30 series tractors, have you been getting calls kind of equally on all of them, or any ones in particular? Maybe this 4230, I'm guessing?
The 4230 is probably, I've had more calls on it than I have anything, in the 30 series lineup and everything.
Kind of a nice size.
It's an all-around good ginning size. You could bale with it, or do about a.
Get 20,000. You gonna get 20? You're gonna get 10. Now 11. And now 12. Now 13. You're gonna get 13. You're gonna get 13,000. You're gonna get 12. You're gonna get 13. $14,000 on up. You're gonna get 13. You're gonna get 14. 15,000. Now $16,000 on. You're about 17, 18. I'm at 18. You're gonna get 18. You're gonna get 18. You're gonna $19,000 on. You're about 19,000. I'm at 18, 19. You're gonna get 18. You're gonna get 19. You're about 18,5. You're gonna get 18. You're about 5. You're about 18,5. Now 19,000. I'm at 19, even about 19, even 19, even about 19,000. You look at 19,5, you look at 19, even about 19,5, and now $20,000. You look at 20, even about 20, even about $20,000. You like it much better, sir, being able to tell your wife you brought a $20,000 tractor. You look at 19,5, get 20. You look at 20, even about $20,000, even about 19,750. You look at 19,750. You look at, you want back in, sir. You look at 19,750. You look at 19,750. You look at 19,750. You look at 19, look at 7, look at 5, look at 19,750. Anybody else? You look at 19,750, 19,750. Yes or no? I'm gonna go. You look at 19,750, 19,750 on them, and I sold 19,500. 98. Buyer number 98. Thank you guys. Buyer 98.
Well, folks, last year at auction, I only saw 5 John Deere 4230s sold without a loader that got over $17,000. Our feature item on the sale today, the 4230. No problem passing that mark, sells for $19,500. All right, folks, it's time to hop in my Machinery Pete time machine with me, and we're gonna dial this thing back 20 years. We're gonna go back to the end of the calendar year 2000, August through December. Now back then, of course, the used farm equipment market was pretty soft, and particularly the used tractor market. There was a glut of off-lease tractors. Just couldn't find a home for these things. Now let's zero in on one particular model, a John Deere 8300. 200 horse. Deere made this thing from 95 to 99. So back 20 years ago, it was 1 to 5 years old. Now here's a look from our machinerypete.com website from the end of the year 2000. A partial list of 24 John Deere 8300s, mechanical fronts, that sold at auction back then. Now folks, look at this list and look at the number of hours. Look at the second, third, fourth examples. They're under 2,000 hours, and back then they sold for $58,000, $59,000 at auction. Okay, now hop back in the time machine and we'll zoom back till today. Now here's a picture of a 98 model 8300 with 5,500 hours on it that sold January 18th, 2020, farm auction, East Central Nebraska. This baby went for $80,000. Only the second John Deere 8300 with over 5,000 hours I've ever seen hit 80,000 or more. And here's a look at the highest auction prices on ones with over 5,000 hours. Now, very interesting, look at the first one on the list. Look at the date. December 29th of 2012, Hudsonville, Michigan, brought 82.5. Now, of course, December of 2012, that was the absolute peak of the used farm equipment market, just a couple months before commodity prices fell in spring of 13. Now folks, if we only knew, we could have bought all 24 of those Deere 8300s back 20 years ago, put them in the shed, sold them today, made 30 to 40K per tractor. C'est la vie. Well folks, I gotta tell you, it's totally worth it to stand out in the cold rain for hours when you get to watch tractors like this sell. the John Deere 4230, 19.5, hot bidding on the 4630 and the 4430. Thanks for joining us on Machinery Pete TV. We'll see you back here next week. Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com.